Gambling God here in the car. Not home tonight. Yeah, we're on the road. This is a road game. Sorry about the light. Let's see if we can... Now you can't see me. Now I'm like John Cena. Can't see me. Gambling God here. Well, we're going to have to just deal with the light. Sorry about the darkness. We are in the car tonight. November 8, 2019. This is a Friday. Yeah, we are in the car because we are having an estate sale tomorrow, and we had to unload the truck tonight, and we are sleeping in the car tonight. That's right. We're going to guard the electronics and all the other items that are for sale because, this is, you don't know what could go on. You got people like me running around out there. They could, crawl over the fences and, come on, you watch the news. Come on. So, we're going to review last night, which, of course, we'll review it. It's all fixed. Tonight, we're gonna get into our NBA, NHL, NCAA. If you happen to see anybody in the background, just, give me a signal. Like if someone with that, there's like a hatchet, something. Because, this is, at any moment, it could just go wrong. And, this will be the final. You see that light there? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Okay, it's a brake light. But in the future, it could be some kind of, infrared bang bang. And then the next thing you know, Gambling God is God. Right? So, we have the step one in promoting our in-studio show is emptying the house, which we've done. We have now emptied the house of furniture and clothing, a lot of shoes, dishes, towels, a lot of towels. All right. I don't know if you guys like towels. We have hundreds, and just a lot of knickknacks, paddywhacks. Give a dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. Yeah, I'm a little delirious. I've been moving furniture all day with Spanish men. Reviewing last night, Boston and Charlotte, totally fixed. I told you to take Charlotte. Now, I've never taken a team where they were just ahead the entire game and coasted to victory. So, of course, I told you to take Charlotte. Celtics never trailed. We're never in jeopardy. This doesn't happen when I tell you to take certain teams. But, Charlotte didn't cover at home. Boston rolled them. We missed that one. OKC at San Antonio. OKC was ahead most of the game. Bottom fell out late, lost by 9. I told you to take them +7. Didn't hit that one. Miami at Phoenix. This NBA, like I said to you, is I do not follow my picks on basketball. It is the most random sport. There is no rhyme or reason. Stick with the hockey. I'm trying to get a good lighting here. Anyway. Miami at Phoenix. We had Phoenix. Miami never trailed. Are you seeing a pattern here? Okay, whatever I take, just take the opposite. Okay, I sleep in the car. You don't want to listen to me. Portland at the Clippers. Portland led the entire game. We picked Portland to win. Clippers came back late behind Kawhi Leonard, took it, won the game, covered the 5.5. So, if you're scoring at home, that's an 0 for 4 in basketball last night, and that just goes along the lines of what I'm saying to you. It's totally random. Teams run off these 17, 18-point runs. There's no way to predict it. There's no way to budget for it. You're taking your life in your hands. You want to bet the NBA? Come sleep in the car with me. I could use the company. I have a couple of seats. NHL last night, Rangers at Carolina. Rangers have now proven that they are on the uptick. Rangers winning in Carolina last night in a surprising fashion, as a matter of fact, led the entire game. Is that a ghost behind? Is that a ghost-like? What is that figure? I don't know. I end up in very strange situations in my life. So the Rangers are a team we're going to keep an eye on as a potential upset play because they have been playing very well. And they are the kind of team I'd like to follow. We could get some value with them. They did beat Carolina in Carolina and Nashville in Nashville this week. Two very difficult teams to win in their home stadium, and they did that. Vegas at Toronto. Toronto won in overtime because every game goes to overtime. and we had Toronto there, but the overtime theme didn't stop there. Washington and Florida, I told you to take Florida. Florida led the entire game, was up and back, 3-3, 4-4. It went to overtime. Washington won 5-4 because every game goes to overtime. Montreal at Philadelphia, I had Philly. This one went to overtime because every game goes to overtime. The next game was Pittsburgh at the Islanders, and the Islanders were leading 3-0. Pittsburgh tied it 3-3. And, of course, it went to overtime because every game goes to overtime. And Pittsburgh won. So I had the Islanders to win. They lost in overtime. And I had Philly to win. They won in overtime. I had Florida to win. They lost in overtime. And I had Toronto to win. They won in overtime. So we split the overtime matchups 2-2. LA at Ottawa, I told you don't bet this one or you have a serious problem and should seek professional counseling. I didn't really pay too much attention. I think Ottawa won, but I didn't really pay too much attention to this game. This is two teams that I really don't care about. I don't like betting bad teams. Vancouver at Chicago. I told you to take Vancouver. Chicago led the entire game. Never were in jeopardy. It was 2-1 was the closest I think Vancouver got. So, yeah, Chicago took that one at home. I liked Vancouver there. Nashville at Colorado. Colorado, I think, won 8-3 or something. We had Colorado in that one. So that was another winner. New Jersey at Calgary. I think New Jersey won. No, actually, Calgary won this game. I don't know, actually. It's 50. It's all fixed. It doesn't really. Las Vegas won. Remind me. Las Vegas won. I think Calgary won. I got to check the score. I'm sorry. It was late. I was moving stuff. The Beatles were on. It had all kinds of action. Columbus at Arizona. I liked Arizona. They don't play as well as at home. Columbus beat them. I did say that Columbus was a value play, but I did take Arizona. But I did like Columbus as a value play. Minnesota at San Jose. San Jose jumped out to a lead. I think it was like 5-2, and they ended up winning 6-5. Martin Jones blind. Anthony D was watching the game with me, not in the house, but like via text, and he was, boasting that the Sharks were back and all this kind of stuff. The goalie sucks, and if they don't get rid of him, they're going to be in a lot of 6-5 games, and believe me, they're not going to win all of them. So the Sharks did take it. I did tell you Minnesota was a value play. They almost rallied and won. They didn't, but San Jose did take it. Martin Jones stinks. They need to get rid of him. So for tonight's slate NBA, it's a little late. Sorry, I'm sitting in a parking lot. It's got to be like 35 degrees outside. We've been moving all day long. A little late, but I'll give you the rundown on what I like anyway. I have the list here, so I don't even know who's winning. So I'll just give you my picks. Knicks at Dallas. I mean, you got to be insane to take the Knicks. I think the Knicks cover the 11, even though it looks too easy that Dallas will cover the 11. It's a lot of points. I'll take the Knicks plus 13. I would buy that up. Detroit at Indiana. Some of them I don't have the spreads, but in any event, I like Indiana here. Detroit has a tough little team. I like Indiana to win. Memphis at Orlando. I like Orlando to bounce back. They've lost 3 in a row, but I do like Orlando in this spot to beat Memphis. Cleveland at Washington. You got to take Washington there. I have no confidence taking a team like Cleveland on the road. Sacramento at Atlanta. Tough one. I'll take Sacramento. They've been feisty lately. Atlanta's been good. They did beat San Antonio the other day, but I'll take Sacramento here to get it done against Atlanta in Atlanta. Toronto at New Orleans. I'm going to take New Orleans to win this one. I like Toronto. They have a good team. I like New Orleans. Play well at home. They have a good young team. They've been feisty. I'll take New Orleans to win this one. They're getting 2.5. I would take the points as well. Golden State at Minnesota. Minnesota is minus 11.5. I'll take Golden State to cover the 13.5. They have some good young players that are subbing in for their stars. I think that they can cover 13.5. The line's 11.5. But whenever I give you advice, buy it up. Buy it up as best as you can. I'll take Golden State to cover the 13.5. Philly at Denver. Tricky spot. You'd like to think that Philly would cover the 5, would be a value play. I'm going to take Denver to roll them. For some reason, when these teams that are not used to playing in Denver go there, they hang in there and then they get wiped out. I'm going to pick Denver to put on one of those big third or fourth quarter runs and pull away from Philly and cover the 5 and win the game outright. Milwaukee at Utah. I will take Utah here. Utah is plus 2. I will take the home team to cover and win the game. Brooklyn at Portland. I'm taking Brooklyn to cover the 5.5. Portland just had an emotional letdown last night against the Clippers. I'll take Brooklyn to cover the 3.5, buy it up to 5.5, and on the money line, they might even be a nice little value play to win the game. It's possible. Sorry about shaking, but the arm is getting stiff, and I use the right arm for a lot of things. So the right arm, it's getting a little bit numb. If you sit on your hand, and you know what we call that, the stranger. You have to use the left hand though. If you can't use the hand you normally use, because it's not it's a whole different video. I'm not even sure it's allowed on YouTube. Miami at Lakers. Lakers minus 8.5. I think that's too much. Miami bounces back from their blowout at Denver. They come with a strong effort. Take them plus 10.5, and even possibly to win on the money line for a small amount. I like the Lakers, but I like Miami to cover this game and potentially to win. There is some value in Miami. NHL tonight, there was an early game for some reason. I guess the bookies just had to fix something earlier. I think Tampa Bay played somebody, and they won. When I logged in, I couldn't believe there was a game earlier today. It's very rare that you have an early hockey game. So I obviously we're not going to give anything on that because it's over already. Boston is at Detroit. Everybody is going to take Boston. So am I. I took Detroit the last couple of games against Nashville and the Rangers. They let me down. I'm not going to let the third time be the charm. We'll go with Boston on this one, which means Detroit will win. Vancouver is at Winnipeg. I'm going to go with Vancouver again. I do like Winnipeg. I think there's value in Vancouver. This is a tight matchup. I could see this game going to overtime because every game goes to overtime, and I'd like Vancouver to win this game. I like the over as well. New Jersey at Edmonton. Not a game I love. Two really terrible teams. Not terrible, but just teams I don't like to play. I'll take Edmonton to win the game, but the Devils easily could take it. If you're such a degenerate that you need to take action on that one, I would take Edmonton, but there is some value in the Devils. There is one NCAA game tonight that has a decent spread. I'm not going to get into these friggin' college games where they were 20 and 30 point spreads. I mean, Kansas is like a minus 14.5 point favorite. I'm not getting involved in all that. You know who's going to win. If they get upset, they get upset. I'm only going to really focus on top 25 and games that are like 9 and under. Over 9, there's no value. Unless I think there's an upset potential, okay? So here we have Baylor at Washington. Obviously, it's the first game, or it's early in the season. The teams are just kind of feeling their way. I read up on the game. Washington has like a whole new roster. Baylor is favored to win the Big 12. I'm going to take Washington at home, buy it up to plus 7, and a potential win upset. College basketball is very, very random. And even though, Washington is feeling their way, they very easily, they recruit well. All these teams recruit well. I think this will be a close game. It's not a conference game, so there's no history between these two teams, which makes a difference. And so I'll go Washington plus 7, buy it up from plus 5, and throw a little money on it as a potential upset. I don't think there's a lot of value in Baylor on the road. Not easy to win on the road. Remember, when you're betting college basketball, always remember you're betting on teenagers. Always remember that. When the game is on the line and they're going to the foul line, you are betting on teenage 18, 19-year-old kids. This is not, a 34-year-old LeBron James who's been in pressure situations. Always keep that in your mind, that crazy stuff happens, like Chris Webber calling timeout on the side of the road. There are people here. There are people. Okay, that was close. That was a close one. If you could get like some kind of a. All right. So thank you for protecting me. They kind of gave themselves. There's something happening here. That was very close to being a news story. Are they leaving? Good. Anyway, Gambling God. I'm gonna come back later on because I'm sleeping in the car tonight. We're gonna go into the NCAA tomorrow, NCAA football, and I'll report back in on some of the scores. Maybe I'll order a little Uber Eats to the car here. Eat in the car, and this is not a big deal. I got food in the car. It's nice. It's not that cold. I got the heat. I got you got me. This kind of thing. So the Gambling God is good. I am dressed in full, winter attire. This is very warm. I'm layered. For those of you who might be wondering about my health, I am fully. My physical health is good. My mental health gone. The physical health, I'm fully layered. So I'm loaded up here for the night. This is now about 7:30 p.m. We'll be here all night. Feel free to text me. Don't call me. Please don't call me. just send me a text. I don't like getting phone calls. I'm not a chatter. I mean, I am, but tonight I got to focus on selling shoes and all kinds of items here. If you're interested in the estate sale, send me a text. You have my number. I will give you information on where we will be. If you want leather jackets, ice chest, maybe a Tommy Hilfiger beach chair, a nose hair trimmer, salad bowl. I don't know what you need, but I know I don't need it. Gambling God, logging off here from the car. I'm gonna go have a little chicken.